What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Hendrick back with another video. I wanted to react to this. Shout out to Dan Go, I believe is this guy's name. And the title of the video is I'm 45. And if you're in your 30s, watch this. So I'm sure he's going to give some very valuable life advice. So I wanted to check it out. It's like a 21-minute video. I want to do the full reaction to it, man. If y'all new to the channel, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, and if you're new, I appreciate the views, and hit the like button, man, so I can stay in the algorithm. And yeah, man, let's get to the video, and fair use, y'all. Let's go.
If you're in your 30s, watch this. When you hit your 40s, you're going to see two types of people: those who took care of themselves and those who did not. Health isn't optional. In your 20s, you can get away with a lot, but in your 30s, your habits compound for better or for worse. Next, you lose 3 to 8% of muscle every decade after 30, and this rate accelerates after 60. Lifting weights is an investment in your future self. And
I agree with that. I work out all the time. I know the importance of working out. It's essential for longevity as far as your health goes, as far as being physically fit. You keep maintaining your youth as far as your physical appearance goes, not aging gracefully. So there's a lot of benefits, man. Bone density, man, it's a lot of benefits of working out. So, and working out consistently builds habits in other areas of your life too. So
I'm getting ahead of myself, but when you lift weights, especially after the ages of 60, 70, 80, this is what keeps you functional as you age. It's way better to be the oldest person in the weight room than the youngest person in the nursing home.
facts.
Number 3, you are what you eat. The foods you take in are investments in your present and future energy, mood, and health. If you're feeling like shit, look no further than the fuel you're putting into your body. And there have been plenty.
I agree with that. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I had Chinese food last night, and I was so, after eating that, I was so full and lethargic that I didn't even get done what I needed to get done last night, and I fell asleep on the couch and slept all the way through this morning. So I agree with that. Certain foods gives you energy boost. Not only certain foods, vitamins, what you drink, smoothies, things like that. All these things matter. When you're working out, you got to be mindful of the fuel that you put into your body.
Of studies that have been done that shows the types of nutrients that you put into your body are what contribute to either positive or negative mental health. Number 4, you are also when you eat. One of the most underrated tools to getting healthy is to create the best meal schedule for you. It's a concept called circadian nutrition, and it's quite simple. You would eat your final meal at least 3 to 5 hours before bed, and this lets your body digest and improve the quality of your sleep. You would eat your first meal at least 1 to 2 hours upon waking to regulate your appetite, your hunger, and also to turn on your circadian rhythms. And if you want, you put a meal in between those two, and then when you do this for about 7 days, your body will start to adapt to the times that you're eating. Number 5, sleep is the
Good sleep, I struggle with that. But he's right about the eating part. I try not to eat too late. Like, I don't eat between the hours of like midnight and like 5, 6 a.m. I just shut it down. So he's right about that. When you eat is important. You know, yeah, and don't overindulge in what you eat too. Like, don't overeat. Like, only eat when I always, me personally, I eat after a workout. That's when I try to eat. Or if I'm like really hungry and I just need some fuel, then I'll get something light. But I don't normally eat heavy. I'll try to eat breakfast, and then I'll sometimes eat lunch, and then I'll have dinner. But however you want to do it, my best advice would be don't overindulge in the eating. Don't overeat.
best performance enhancing drug on the planet, and it's completely free. At a bare minimum, you should be aiming for at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night, aiming for similar sleep and wake times. And to enhance the quality of your sleep, focus on fixing your environment so you can make sleep evergreen. Most people won't admit, but when you fix your horrible sleep habits, you fix a lot of problems in life. Number 6 is to care about your appearance. Everyone says not to judge a book by its cover, but what do people do? They judge a book by its cover. And if you want to care about your appearance, it starts with your body, taking care of it, putting in the right foods, lifting, exercising, moving, sleeping. And then we get into the finer details, which is your haircut. the clothes that you wear. You don't need to be a fashionista. You just need to care about how you look. And then once you start doing this and start caring about your appearance, you will see that people will treat you a lot differently, and that's for the better. Number 7 is to embrace new technology. When I was in my 30s, it was the internet. Now that I'm in my 40s, it's AI. Whatever the new technology is, use it as much as you can, because this will put you ahead of everyone else that is not using it. Number 8 is to desexualize your brain as soon as possible.
Yes. No prawn. No get off the social media, women twerking and all that stuff. He's right about that. Keep your mind sharp and focused on the task at hand all the time. Keep your mind busy. The devil's mind is the what's the saying? And yes, it's an idle mind is the devil's playground. Stay off, refrain from the phones, just focus on the task at hand and just stay focused. Especially for men in their 30s, it's very important that you lock in. It's going to set yourself up for your 40s, 50s, and aging gracefully and living the life that you want to live.
One of the best things that I've ever done for my life was to quit watching porn, which I talked about in this video.
Yeah.
And it's not just about watching porn. It's about not clicking on them Instagram tot accounts, or even right now where Elon just came out with the AI versions of these partners or people that you'll have relations with. It's weird shit. But again, desexualize your brain. And one thing that you will do with that energy is to divert that energy into the development of self. Number 9, one of the best habits that you can ever bring into your life is to walk. Walk when you're stressed. Walk when you're angry. Walk when you need a little bit of creativity. Walk to gain clarity. Walking is the most underrated exercise on the planet. It helps you burn calories, it's accessible, it's sustainable, it improves brain function, it reduces stress. And if you're looking for a walking workout, I create a free guide on the walking workout that we use to help our clients burn belly fat. Drop a comment down below that says walk, and I'll send it to you. Number 10, money is a great slave but a horrible master. Something you have to understand is that you want to use it to buy your freedom, not status. One of the first steps is just to clear off.
Oh, bars, man. Golly, I felt that in my soul, y'all. Man, let me run that back. God, yes.
Money is a great slave but a horrible master. Something you have to understand is that you want to use it to buy your freedom, not status.
Ooh, yeah, man. And a lot of times people are using money to get status and not by... They're trying to gain status to impress someone else, to keep up with the Joneses. That's the biggest problem in how people weaponize money today. Money's supposed to be a tool to help you live a better and prosperous life, put yourself in better opportunity, not to look rich or look like you got it for others to be envious of you. Straight up.
First steps is just to clear off any consumer debt that you may have and
Facts.
put that as your focus. And then after that, you want to get into investing in assets and also investing in yourself. And this reminds me of a tweet some guy put out on X a long time ago, and he said, buy a Rolex and go into debt if you have to. And his way of rationalizing this to himself was the fact that he attracted his mate because he had a Rolex, and he also attracted more business as a result of his Rolex as well. And I have to tell you that, especially if you're in your 30s, this is one of the worst things that you can do. If you attract a partner based on the clothes that you wear or the watch that you're wearing, then you are gonna get exactly what you paid for. If you need to wear a Rolex so you can attract more business, it also means that you lack the skills to properly persuade people to do business with you. A lot.
Facts. Listen, man. The women that you attract, and if you're using you're using assets and tangible items, you're attracting birds, 304s at the end of the day. IG models, those are not the type of women, because at the end of the day, they're only there for what you got and what you can offer. They're not genuinely there for you. So when the money get funny, they gonna get funny too, y'all. I'm telling you, get you a woman, man. Wear a regular shirt, wear a regular watch. You don't need to flaunt. If a woman really feeling you, your personality and just your good looks, just maintaining yourself as a man, fellas, keeping your hair cut, like he mentioned, good cologne, keeping your physique, going to the gym, those things alone, and your personality, nice smile, being an effective communicator, those things are going to be is going to resonate in that woman's mind who really like you for you. That's going to carry more weight, I'm telling you. And that woman who like you for you, those are the women that you want around you. That's going to be a helpmate, that's going to help you get to the next level, and going to be in the support role that a woman's supposed to be in. So that's just my 2 cents.
Things that people buy is just to elevate their status, whether they admit it to themselves or not, and I would rather not play that game and use that money to invest in myself. Number 11, this is self-explanatory, but just stop asking advice from people who have never been where you want to be. Number 12, stop thinking it's too late. When I was 24, I had a decision on whether I would keep on climbing the corporate ladder or go into something that I loved, which was being a fitness coach. Now, this was during a time where fitness coaching is not popular as it is right now. There was no Instagram, there was no social media, and I'll tell you, at 24, I thought it was too late to switch careers. Crazy. And at the age of 30, I had the decision to stick with my job, which was being a personal trainer, which I was doing really well at, or starting my own business. And let me tell you, at 30 years old, I thought it was too late to start a business. So let me tell you something. At 30, you're not late. You're actually early.
Yeah,
you finally have
true.
enough wisdom to know what matters and enough time to build it. So forget about this whole too late nonsense, because at 30, you are just literally getting started. Number 13.
It's never too late to pursue your dreams and aspirations, man. It's never too late. Whether you want to go get a degree, or whether you want to get that certification, you want to start a business, you want to climb the corporate ladder, whatever it is, whatever endeavors that you want to embark in, man, it's never too late. Don't ever feel like it's too late. People's success comes at different periods of times in their lives. Real talk. This is for men and women. You could be successful just because you weren't successful early 20s, 30s. That don't mean you won't, the light bulb won't switch and things turn around in your late 30s, 40s, even 50s. We don't hit our financial peak till later in life anyways. Don't be scared. Take the risk. Take the risk. If you fail, get back up and try again and keep trying. You would rather fail several times over and know that you did everything you could to try to put yourself, and not only yourself, but your loved ones and the people that matter to you, in the best position to succeed, than to never try and never know and have that unknown in your mind whether or not you could have made something more of yourself than you did currently. So, yeah.
It needs to be said, especially in the times that we're living in right now, which is, if you are easily offended, you are easily manipulated. Stop taking shit personally. You can take this a step further by adopting a mental frame called API, which is to always assume positive intent. Life is way too short to give mental energy to slights and perceived insults. And this leads me to one of the most important points of this video, number 14, where your biggest mental superpower is the ability to control your perception. Something you have to understand is that reality is not actually reality. Your perception is your reality, and your perception is trained through the people that you hang around, the environment that you're in. You are this chemistry set of these beliefs and perceptions that you have adopted in life. And if you want a better life, you need to change the lens of which you look at the world. And the way I know this is because I can take two people with the exact same background and also give them the exact same circumstances and put them through the same situation, and you can get two wildly different types of perceptions in regards to that situation. What most people don't realize is that you can actually choose a perception that empowers you the most and that moves you forward. But most people don't take advantage of this. Now, number 15 is the way you change your reality is to start with how you think. Your thoughts create your beliefs, which lead to your actions, which in turn become your reality. If you want to change your reality, look no further than your level of thinking. And you can change your thoughts. It does take effort, but you can do this. Number 16 is to stop framing things that didn't work out as a failure and frame them as an iteration. Imagine that Thomas Edison tried to create a light bulb for the first time, and then he just said, okay, well, that didn't work. I guess it's a failure. That guy had to go through 10,000 iterations to create something that we use every single day. And here's something about being successful at anything that you probably heard before. Your rate of iteration is equal to your rate of success. So if you want to succeed faster, do more experiments, iterate faster. Number 17, never judge a person based on what they say. Judge them based on what they do. Behavior is the most
Yes.
accurate way of
I so agree with this concept. I've been saying that, especially like I be saying that in my videos when I be talking about dating relationships. But I always tell men to never believe what a woman says. She could be talking ish, it don't matter. Believe how they move, their actions. It's the same thing. It's universal. How they move will give you an indication in how they think. Forget what they say. How they move, well, their actions are gonna let you know whether a person is intentional or not. Bottom line.
testing character, especially when it comes to the people you allow into your life. Number 18 is to learn from people you disagree with. In one of my other videos, I talked about advice that I give to people in their 40s over here. And a lot of the comments came back that said, oh, I disagree with that one thing you said, therefore I stopped watching the video. And to me, this is a sign of just trying to protect your ego and staying in an echo chamber. Most times when people disagree with others, they see it as a reflection of their entire personality when it's just like one thing that they disagree with. And you will get so much farther in life when you stay objective and you allow yourself to learn from people you actually disagree with. Or you can stay in your echo chamber and keep on thinking the same thoughts over and over and over. We'll see how that works. Number 19 is not mine. It was actually from Alan Watts, and it is about forgiving the 4 people in your life. The first one is your parents, and something that I realized, especially as I got older, was resenting the people that gave me life was like taking a poison pill and expecting them to get hurt. And after I became a parent, I became so much more appreciative of what they did. What I realized is that every single generation and every single type of family, they all deal with different shit and they all come with different tools. And it's on us to accept it and forgive them, and you don't have to hang around them, especially if you don't like them, but it will release a lot of resentment and anger, which will be freed up energy for you to do what you want. The next one is the people you once loved who didn't stay. This could be your exes, it could be others, but essentially we don't want to be carrying around the burden of always thinking back to these people we once had relations with. You gotta learn and just move on. Third one is people who actually wronged you. And the last one is going to be yourself. And forgiveness is this thing where you allow yourself to let go of the resentment. The more you hold on to these resentments, the more it just holds you back, and the more it just makes you angry.
Yeah, it holds you back. It hardens you, and it makes you kind of closed off and closed-minded to a lot of different things, especially like past relationships. If you've been hurt, and like you'll have this wall and this barrier up that will shackle you. It could shackle you for the rest of your life if you don't let go. Like you really gotta like let go, and it takes time and it takes maturity. But a lot of people have struggled with letting go, and they have this barrier in this wall, and it won't allow them to embark on new opportunities and new journeys, whether it be with people or different opportunities through like work or whatever that may come your way. So just keep that in mind.
I'm always optimizing for becoming the best version of myself, and one of the things that I have to learn is to learn from those situations, forgive, and just move on. Number 20, if you want better results in life, look at the people you surround yourself with. And if they don't match the reality you want to build, unfortunately, you're going to have to find a better group, which actually leads me to the next point. Number 21, you become smarter by being the dumbest person in the room. You become fitter by being the least fit person in the gym. We have to stop protecting our egos and actually get around people who are levels ahead of us. And something I realized by continuing...
I agree with that, man. I always tell people, always be a sponge, man. Knowledge is power. When you get around people that's doing it, man, ask them questions, bro, if you can. Learn from them. When I go to the gym, I see people doing certain workouts. I take what I see what they're doing and I incorporate it to what I'm doing. They got a better physique than me. I want to learn. I'm big into working out. I look at different workouts that I integrate into my workouts to be better, and it's helped me. We always got to be looking to seek more knowledge, man. Knowledge is power, and get around people who are doing it, man. So there's nothing wrong with respecting what others are doing and integrating what they're doing into your daily life, so you could maybe one day be successful or reach a goal that you may have.
Really doing this in my life is that you just level up by process of osmosis. You see how they act, you see how they think, you see how they behave. And then when you hang around people who are behaving and thinking at a level higher than you will start to adopt that same level inside of your own life. Number 22, most people think that a great life is about money, cars, and houses, when the reality is that a great life is actually based on things that money can't buy, which is doing a job that you love doing, being healthy, having a great family, having great relationships. If there's one thing I've always focused on is making sure I don't over-index on these external measures of success and index way heavily on the ones that create a fulfilling life. Number 23, a great life comes from focusing on the right constraints. And from my experience, you have two constraints that you should focus on with two wildly different strategies. Constraint number one is the bottleneck. So what is the one thing that holds you back from achieving the thing that you want? We want to go in and we want to fix that. We want to subordinate everything so we can make that the priority. And then once you fix it, then you will be one step closer to achieving the thing that you want. Something I realized watching the greatest entrepreneurs on the planet is they're not necessarily focused on adding more things. They're actually looking at optimizing and removing these bottlenecks and these constraints. So success is actually less about addition and more about subtraction. Now, the second type of constraint is to place one in your life that helps you uphold your values. Do you want to build a successful business? Well, can you get home at 5 o'clock every single night so you can have dinner with your family? That is the constraint. Can you maintain your health while building that business? That is another constraint. What the second level constraints do is they uphold the things that mean the most to you while you're achieving this thing, which is super fun. And then this is actually what makes a full life. Number 24 is to use the 3 levels of learning. So level 1 is consumption. It's what you're doing right now. And this is the shallowest of all levels of learning. Level 2 is application. This turns knowledge into actual experience.
The application piece is very important. So you can watch something, but if you don't apply it, you don't take that knowledge and actually apply it to your day-to-day, it's just common practice to do. You'll never, for one, you won't get any results, you won't achieve anything, and you won't actually know through the consumption if what you're applying is actually working. And if it works, you double down on that application.
And level 3 is teaching. It's what I'm doing to you right now.
You take what you take the consumption, you apply it, you see it works, and then what people do, people are selfish. They don't take that application and see something that it works, and they don't share the knowledge. That's that's a big problem. We try to take something that works and keep it all to ourselves. Instead, what we should be doing is sharing that knowledge, like this gentleman here on the screen who I'm reacting to is doing. So we have to pass that knowledge around, and why not share the wealth? If you got something that works and people want to get put on to, put people on, man. Makes the world a better place. If you're living on this earth and all you're doing is worrying about self, and you're not doing anything to make an impact on anyone else's lives, then, and this is just my opinion, your life truly doesn't have any meaning and you truly haven't lived. That's just my opinion, though. Let me know if y'all agree or disagree on that thought.
Turns experience into wisdom. When you apply all 3, you are able to learn things at a deeper level. Number 25 is to understand that your emotions are your responsibility. Something I wish they taught in high school or even my own house was the ability to manage my emotions.
This also applies to relationships too. Fellas, it is not your responsibility to make sure that your significant other is happy. Your woman is supposed to already be able to self-regulate her emotions and understand what makes her happy and healthy at the end of the day. If you're in a situation where you're dealing in a romantic relationship with an individual and their happiness and their swings of emotions is predicated on you and what you do for them, you're in the wrong relationship. I'm telling you that right now.
I remember sometimes I would even get into arguments with my wife and I would be like, you made me feel this way. She would always correct me, which I love, because of the fact that I'm the one that is feeling that. I'm the one that actually created that feeling. I should not blame that feeling on anyone else. Maybe they're a part of it, but if I'm to take responsibility, I'm the person that felt that. So the second part is understanding how to manage our emotions. And this is actually something that we're trying to teach our daughters right now. Because you are a human being, you will feel emotions, so why not learn a system that helps you manage them instead of blaming them on everyone else? Which leads me to 26, which is to take ownership of every single result in your life. This means getting away from victimhood mentality. It may not be your
Accountability, 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 and accountability. That's all I need to
fault,
say.
but it's always your responsibility. And when you blame others, you lose agency. You give them power. Personal power means to avoid blaming others for shit that's happening in your own life. Number 27 is to be a goal-driven individual.
Facts.
Mind is a goal-seeking machine, and most times people give it the wrong goals. You need something to focus on. You need a goal, or it will be given to you. So when I first became a trainer, I was trying to move up the ranks, and I was listening and reading all the articles I could. And there was an article by Paul Chek, who, by the way, is one of the most legendary fitness coaches on the planet, and it was about goal setting. And at the end of it, he said that people are more likely to achieve their goals if they write them down. He had an action step where he said, hey, write down 20 goals, see exactly what happens. Nothing was really going for me at that time, so I decided to give it a shot. I wrote down my 20 goals. Some of them were just wildly outside of my reality, which was like to be the top trainer at that gym. Once I wrote it down, I put it in my desk and just completely forgot about it. About 6 months later, I happened to open up the drawer of my desk, and then I see this piece of paper which has my 20 goals. I end up picking up this paper, pulling it out, and I'm looking at the goals, and I'm crossing out at least like half of that list. One of them was to be the top trainer at my gym. And that was my first taste of what goal setting can do for you. And since then, I've refined my process where I can literally take the biggest goals that I've ever thought about and make them into realistic steps. And I'll tell you what my system is right now so you can copy it. You start with a 3-year vision. I think one of the best books around creating a vision for yourself is called Vivid Vision by Cameron Herold. And he takes you through the step on how to create that 3-year vision. Once you set that 3-year vision, you're going to break it down into a 1-year goal. You're going to ask yourself, what do I have to do this year in order to get myself closer to the vision? Then you're going to break that 1-year goal down into quarterly projects. And those quarterlies are broken down into monthly tasks, and those tasks are broken into weekly tasks, and those tasks are scheduled inside of my calendar to be done every single day. And one of the things that I've done is make sure that I knock down.
I don't know about y'all, but this is, man, Dan Ho. If you don't subscribe to him, man, check him out. Dan Ho, H-O. Not the other, 304. But anywho, that's his name. This is really great advice, man. I mean, I'm gonna let the video play out. I mean, this is beautiful stuff, man. I'm even learning things watching this. So this is why I wanted to make this video. I knew it would be very informative. So yeah, man, let's continue. Let's rock out.
On at least 3 of those tasks so I can keep on moving forward. Whenever we're thinking about creating any kind of result in our life, we have to start at the end and work our way back. And then once you can make a goal look like a reality and create the tasks and the steps to get there, you're going to realize that every single thing that we want in life is attainable. Now, this leads me to number 28, which is the paradox, the antithesis to what I just said. So when you set a goal, that becomes the destination. Think about it as creating the destination on a GPS. Once that is created, you know exactly what it is. After that, you must focus on the process. And I'll throw something in there. See ways in which you can have fun doing the process. And I'll tell you right now, which is something that you realize probably by attaining some of the goals in your life, where you don't really feel happy once you attain the goal. The happiness was the striving.
The happiness is the process in which you're achieving your goals, man. The journey is it's never the actual reward at the end. It's the journey, especially when that journey, that journey's leading you to the promised land in which your goal is going to be accomplished. That is the gratifying part, man. When I'm in sales, started my career, started at a company I'm at 5 years ago. I had certain goals that I wanted to achieve. I wanted to be the top salesman. I wanted to do millions of dollars in revenue and things like that, and the grind. It was the process, man. It was the working 12, 14 hours a day to try to get there. It was grinding, coming in on Saturdays. It was just everything that I could. And just looking back on that journey to get to this point where I'm at now, where I'm still grinding, still hustling, and now, I'm trying to get into, want to be one of the best reaction channels, in the YouTube space, and getting monetized, ultimately, it's always about the journey, man. When we look back to our former selves 10, 10, 15 years ago, I always look back at the journey and the process and everything that I went through, both the good, bad, and ugly, and what got me to this point. And that's what brings a smile to my face, man. I don't know about y'all, but I always look, it's never about the goal. The goal is just a means to an end, right? But it's always about the steps in which you take that's gonna get you to that goal. That's what makes me small. And that's what brings me comfort, and that's what brings me to want to succeed and do more. And then once you hit that goal, you're never satisfied, right? You always want to do more. You always want, there's another goal that you want to hit always. So when he said that, that resonated with me. I felt that in my spirit, for real.
And this was the pushes, the work that you were doing, the process.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite rappers, his name is Russ. He has a line that says, "I enjoy the climb. I don't care where the summit is." And this is what encapsulates this point. When you focus hard on each and every step, you end up making the journey way more fun and exciting. And then this allows you to play an infinite game where you're getting the most joy out of doing the process and doing the work as opposed to achieving attainment. Now, 29 is achieving goal is not about getting things, it's actually about becoming the person who attracts the goal as a result of who they are. A goal changes you, it levels you up. You literally cannot be the same person achieving a bigger goal than you were before that. You need new behaviors. You need new ways of thinking. So as you are doing this journey,
He's so right about that. Every time, man, when you create a goal that scares you, where it doesn't seem as you have to lock in, you have to change who you were to become the person that you're supposed to be. That's the only way you can evolve. You can't have the same mindsets to achieve greater things. It's not possible. And you have to make sacrifices. There's certain sacrifices that have to be made. There's certain trade-offs that have to be made in order to ultimately get to where you want to go.
as you're on this process, focus on the behaviors that it would take for you to attain this goal. And then keep on repeating those over and over and over until they become who you are. Now, number 30 is something that a mentor told me, which has stuck with me to this day. The shortcut is the long path. The long path is the shortcut. Think of all the times you tried to lose weight as quickly as possible. Think of all the times that you tried to get money as quickly as possible. How did those things end up? The thing about chasing shortcuts is you take away the skills that you need in order to just keep the result that you were trying to attain in the first place. When it comes to getting things in life, you want to choose the long path because it is always going to be the shortest. Number 31, the 3 most important decisions you're going to make is what you do, who you do it with, which means like who you partner up with, and also where you live. And
Yes. Facts. Facts. Fellas, ladies. Yes, you choose whatever your goals are, whatever your profession is, whatever you decide to embark in to create revenue and live a good life. That's important. Man, number 2, so freaking important. Fellas, I always say, helpmate. Get you a woman that's going to be a helpmate, that sees the vision, that sees you, that cares about you, appreciates you, that's willing to help. You have friends in your corner that's willing to grind with you. Who you surround yourself with is very important. You get with the wrong person, it can set you back for a freaking lifetime. A freaking lifetime. That is so important. Where you live obviously matters. Certain cities in America will yield you better opportunities to network, better career paths, things of that nature. So it's important for our youth, man. People in high school, guys in college right now. It's very important. Post school, once you're done with school, that matters. Where you live, where you're starting life, where you're planting roots is very important. Man, I'm glad he touched on that because this doesn't get talked about enough. Real talk.
Think about these 3 things. They are where you're going to be spending your most time. So you must make those decisions wisely. Second last one right here is going to be the formula for success. And I swear to you, if you follow this and you apply this to anything you want in life, you will be ahead of 90% of people who don't. Step 1 is to show up. Show up when you're motivated. Show up when you're not motivated. Show up when you're feeling it. Show up when you're not feeling it. Just this step alone puts you ahead of 80% of people who only show up when they feel like doing it. Step 2, when you're there, do the work. It sounds easy, but there's a difference between deep work and shallow work. You want to remove all distractions and focus in on what you are doing. Put full attention on the work you need to do, and you will be rewarded with riches. And the last step, which is the most overlooked part, is to look for ways to improve. So you can be showing up, you can be doing the work, but if you're showing up and doing the work on the wrong things, then you're not necessarily going to move forward. This is why I have adopted a mindset of Kanai, which is constant and never-ending improvement. You can always look for ways to get better at anything you do. I've used this formula to get myself in shape, to build businesses.
Man, I believe in that too, man. You spend a lifetime improving, man. Always, man, I'm always thinking about how I can get better, just being more active, whatever I can do to just put myself in better position. We all need to have that mindset, but that mindset is honestly for the minority and not the majority. Only the 1%ers, the 5%ers, even the top people have that type of mindset, who is always striving and never satisfied. You have to be cynical with this mindset in order to even have it and keep that flame lit from within, to want that constant hunger to want to improve.
To grow on social media. It is simple, but don't take it for easy. And I swear, apply this part to your life and you will be way ahead of everyone else that doesn't. And here's the final one.
Facts.
People overestimate what they can do in 6 weeks, but they underestimate what they can do in a year. Imagine all those things that you just quit because it got a little bit too hard and you stuck with it for a full year. You would be way ahead of where you are, and you would probably be very surprised at what you accomplish. My biggest regrets in life come from not doing the thing when I should have done it. Something you may not know about me is that I started a YouTube channel 15 years ago, and I was just posting sporadically. And then it got to a point where I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of this. I might as well just quit. And I look back on that with regret, because if I just kept at it for a full year, I'd probably be way past where I am at this very moment. I know, hindsight's 20/20, but still, while everyone is trying to give you these shortcuts.
That was me. I started my YouTube channel about a few years ago, and I wasn't doing nothing with it. And I decided earlier this year I'm gonna give it a try and see where it takes me. I'm not gonna give it just a year. I'm gonna keep trying until it works. I'm kind of cynical. For me, it's like, this is like a little project that I have to see it all the way through in this thing called life. And not only just on here, TikTok and other social, I'm gonna be active and grind and just see where it takes me and see what happens. And that's the approach that you gotta have. You just gotta say, you know what? F the fears, F the doubts, all the doubts that I had, F what people are saying. If this is what I want to try to my spirit, man, just close your eyes and just go on. And sometimes you just gotta take the chance. You just gotta see what happens, and you gotta do it for a year and a half, 2 years. And then if it don't work, okay, it didn't work out, but you gotta at least put your hat in the ringer, so to speak.
In these short time horizons, get rich quick, get fit quick, whatever it is, adopt a mindset of, I'll do it for as long as it takes. Want to get myself to a specific shape? As long as it takes. Want to build a business? As long as it takes. What this mindset does is it allows you to make mistakes. It allows you to not try to be perfect. It allows you not to go all or nothing. So instead of giving yourself 6 weeks or 6 months or whatever, give yourself a full year to really attract this level of success that you want in your life. I promise you, this is one of the best ways to avoid regret. So, when you're watching...
Man, shout out to him, bro. Real talk. Dan Go. I said Dan Ho. I apologize. Dan Go is his name. You see it on the screen. Man, subscribe to his channel, man. I am so thankful that this video came up on my page. It came up on my feed. So it was a recommended video. Hey man, the Most High come through again. I appreciate y'all. I highly encourage you, watch this video. There's some valuable lessons that can be learned that you can integrate into your own personal life on a day-to-day basis. Let me know your thoughts, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to his channel. I greatly appreciate y'all. And I'm out, y'all. It's midday. I came on my lunch break because I wanted to do this video. I want to get more active. This video right here only confirms what I know in my mind that I must do. I gotta pedal to the metal and I gotta go harder with this. So I will. And the road to 5K subs, the grind don't stop, y'all. And I appreciate y'all. And I'll be back later with another one. Peace.